Welcome back. We're back with Don Ryan and Dave Holli, this year's recipient of the Carl V. Pellonpaa Lifetime Achievement Award. Dave is the founder of Holli Forest Products. Dave, when you started that company, what was your mission? What were you hoping to set out to do, and what kind of impact were you looking to make?
Well, first of all, you start out a company, the first thing you look at is survival.
Yeah.
So you get up, and so, but early on, it was quite manual, the industry. Mechanization wasn't there, so pretty much you're doing all the basic functions, trying to pay the bills and provide for the family, and so I spent years with a chainsaw, and that was we call that motor manual compared to the machines that work automatically.
In the woods.
So
Yeah.
motor manual means you're working with your hands.
So this is an industry that's evolved tremendously. I would ask you how it's changed, but I don't think we have the time for that. But overall, what are some of the big changes that you worked through and obstacles that you faced?
Well, I'd say the biggest changes are how the mechanization got upgraded. And of course, the early mechanization, which we thought was great, become obsolete very quickly.
Yeah.
And so the mechanization factor changed very fast within the forest industry. And of course, the productivity per man day increased many times. You know, anywhere from, I'm going to say 10 to 15 times. And then with really good timber, even more.
And we're taking a look at video from the Sawyer sawmill back in 1997. Was this when you first opened it?
No. We were still building, but we did start that year operational. How we come to the Sawyer sawmill is I was watching small diameter log processing in Europe, primarily Finland, and a little bit up in Quebec, and I kept looking at that and starting in 1985 saying, we can do that in Upper Michigan, because about all our small diameter logs were going to the pulp mill. So that's how it really got started. I saw my first, it's called a curve sawing mill. We don't have time to talk about it, but I saw my first one in 1987. And that's when the light bulb came on. I said, we can do that in the UP.
And then you also decided that K.I. Sawyer might be the place you could do it, since that base was closing and the county was really looking for ways to use the base, you know, in very productive ways.
Right. When they announced the base closure, I called a fellow by the name of Ed Nagel, Land O'Lakes, Wisconsin, Nagel Lumber. He was recognized as one of the experts. And of course, my end of the business was forestry. So I called Ed and I said, Ed, if we want to build a small diameter mill, now's the time and Sawyer's the place, as they want to convert it, you know, the old guns to plow shoes story. So that's how we ended up at the base.
And it's still running there today?
Oh, it's running very, very strong. It's owned by Potlatch. We did sell the mill to Louisiana Pacific, and they decided to get out of the lumber business, and then Potlatch bought the place. So when Louisiana Pacific was there, Holli Forest still owned the heat plant, and so we were providing heat for the dry kilns in the buildings, and then when Potlatch come in, then we got out of it completely at that time.
That's really one of the anchors at Sawyer, really, as far as industrial development goes.
Yeah, it's kind of off to the side, and I don't know if people realize the capacity of that mill. That's a big mill, and I know when we were processing small diameter logs, for example, we were debarking up to 22,000 logs a shift. It's a huge number, but it's a completely different game. And so Potlatch has done a fine job out there. And then when the mill once gets established, you're able to increase your specifications, which then helps to push up your production. But starting with, you know, we were just a little small company starting, and we had to compete with the pulp mills for the resource. However, we become one of their largest suppliers of fiber with chips.
All right, well, before we took the last commercial break, I said we were going to talk about your international travels. We're going to do that after this commercial break, though, okay?
Okay.
So let's take one more break, and we'll talk about some of the work that he's done internationally and how that impacted what he was doing right here in the Upper Peninsula. We will be right back.